So, before I start playing some Dead by Daylight, I just wanted to talk about something that's going on in the world of Ark Survival Evolved. So, it has been brought to my attention that in August, the official servers for Ark Survival Evolved, the dinosaur game I've briefly touched on and off, will be shutting down. So basically, what's happening is Ark Survival Evolved 2 is, on its way. It was supposed to have been released by now, but it's actually been pushed back until next year because they want to finish doing a proper job of it. That's going to be the one that stars Vin Diesel. So, yay to those who care. Anyway, the trailer is out for it. Go check it out. It does look interesting, I suppose. But this leaves the original one obviously in a bad spot because when the new one comes out, they're obviously going to want to pump all of their servers into the new game. And this one has been around for 8 years as of this coming June. It will be 8 years that Ark Survival Evolved has been out. So it's had a pretty good run. But naturally, everybody's really upset and concerned because I have an online not an online server of my own, but I have played Ark Survival Evolved online, and I have a huge, massive amount of dinosaurs and things that I've saved up and had bred and captured in the wild. Um, it's hours and hours of gameplay, and we're looking at, like, just on PlayStation alone. Like, when I first got it, I was on Xbox, and the Xbox version, I probably put a couple thousand hours in there as well. And when you look at my PlayStation profile here, I have 2,000 and I think 39 hours or something like that just on PlayStation alone. So if you add those two together, like, I've got over 4,000 hours logged into this game. It's an extremely addictive game. It's extremely fun, and it's extremely time consuming, but it always feels like it's worth it. So naturally, if the server shut down, we would lose access to all of the animals and, the structures that we had built and the worlds we built. Like, there are whole worlds out there that exist in this game that people have built on these servers with tribes of survivors living in clusters in area. Tribes will go to war with each other sometimes, etc., etc. Like, it's a big deal, and it's an amazingly well put together game. Now, obviously, it's upset pretty much the entire Ark fan base who play in the online servers. I only started doing that about a year ago myself. I was always playing in offline mode because I was like, I had no interest in playing in the multiplayer. But once I did, I couldn't even consider going back to just playing by myself. So again, the problem is, what's going to happen when the servers shut down and all of our stuff is lost? Well, there's been some there's a few solutions that Wildcard has come up with, where basically you're going to be allowed to download, or I guess upload, depending on how you want to look at it, all of your cryogenically frozen dinosaurs and everything like that, and all your items, and you're going to be able to transfer it to an offline thing, because the offline game, if you're not logged into it on a single player game, the game is in pause mode basically while you're offline. And a server, obviously an online server where people all over the world can access it, it runs 24/7. So the thing is that it'll be really great that we can transfer all of our progress, like our characters. Excuse me. Oh boy. So it'll be really good that we can transfer our, all of our animals, basically, is the biggest thing, because the animals, like, you can breed the dinosaurs for strengths and weaknesses, etc. And, like, there's dinosaurs that we have bred that are extremely powerful, and they can end your average, in-game bosses in some cases in seconds, because that's how powerful they've been bred to be. So to lose all of that would be extremely bad. So the fact that they're allowing us to upload our dinosaurs into the offline mode where they will be protected is amazing. So that's good news. And on top of that, They're going to be launching in August. August is when the servers are shut down. I don't know the exact date, just that it's August. Ark Survival Ascended will be released, which is going to be a complete remaster of the current game, Ark Survival Evolved. So we're getting graphical upgrades, all this other stuff. Basically, it's an Unreal Engine 5 update. I'm not big on the tech part of things, if any of you know me well at all. But I still understand the Unreal Engine 5 update will make it, smoother, run better, blah, 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 yada, yada. So that's really cool. It's also going to open up the door for people to bring in mods and other things like that. And so what we're hoping is once we get all our creatures and everything uploaded into our offline accounts for protection, then when the new game starts up, hopefully we'll be able to transfer all of these animals and tames and all of our items into the remastered version of the game. As it stands now, there won't be crossplay between the original game and the updated version because apparently the system running just won't support each other because reasons. But long story short, I've been looking forward to. I was playing Ark Survival right before I became a streamer because I've only been streaming for about 3, maybe 4 months now. And right before I became a streamer was when I was playing Ark the most. I played it for probably a year and a half. That was basically my go-to game. Come home from work, log into Ark, play Ark for hours, okay? And once I started becoming a streamer, that was around the time that I was kind of just you get tired of a game. Any online game that doesn't really the game has a story and an ending and blah blah blah, but it's you can replay it for forever. And I was just tired of playing it, which is why you haven't really seen me. I've touched on it a few times. I've done a few streams about Ark Survival Evolved, and it is a great game, and I think the people who I showed it to really thought it looked amazing. But it's been a matter of when do I want to go back in and devote the time to Ark again, and I haven't really been able to sort of talk myself into doing that because, as I said, it is a very time-consuming game. And if I was to log into it and onto a server now and start playing, by the time August rolled around, that's a long time between now and August, and you would have seen me build, a village of my own or whatever, or tribe of my own, etc., with other players. So it's, but it's how I don't want to do that now because they're just going to shut the servers down and ruin it all anyway. So it makes more sense to save everything that I've already got on my servers and just put it into my offline profile and save it. And then after the new Ark launches, the Ark Survival Evolved 2 has been pushed back until 2024 because they want to make sure that it's the best game it can be. So that game's been put back on the burner, right? But I don't want to start Ark Survival Evolved now, especially. That is so that any potential progress could just be lost in August. So what I would rather do now is absolutely leave the game on the back burner until the remaster is out, which is the Ark Survival Ascended. And then when that game launches, that's when I'm going to start streaming some Ark. And hopefully I'll be able to get some of my dinosaurs and everything, my bats especially. I had a very well known tribe on the Ark servers. Server 1781 is the one that I was on, which was Ark Fjordur is the name of the map, and my tribe of the bat is what it was very well known and respected on there because of I was one of the friendliest players on there. It was actually a very friendly server for everybody. Everybody was very accommodating. It wasn't full PvP because all servers are not PvP. Some are, and you can go into any one of those if you want, and tribes will kill you on sight if that's how you prefer to play, to just get murdered and killed and imprisoned and jailed and everything. That can That's definitely a play style you can go for if you want, but the one I was on was PvE, where it's just all the players, live in the world together, and you don't have to work together, but you can if you want. And I mean, I built a safe house in that game where new players who had never played the game before, because if you've never played Ark before, there's not a tutorial in Ark, okay? You log in and you learned how to play it or you die in game. That's the way it is. And I had built a safe house structure with like spikes and little turrets around it. And I put big billboards up in front of it that said, new player safe house. So they could run inside, they could get food, they could get some basic weaponry and armor and things like that. So they could have a better chance of starting out the game. Because when you first start out, you just die a lot. If you go back and watch any of my streams for when we were starting Ark out, you'll see that that's how it goes. We just died a lot. And so we kind of, made things easier for people. And whenever new people joined the server, my tribe was there to just sort of be like, hey, come on over here, come to this spot on the map. That's where my base is. And they would come into the camp, and we'd set them up. We'd give them a mount, maybe like a velociraptor with a saddle, so they could ride around and attack animals. Have a little bit of defense. Nothing. They're not going to stand up to a T-Rex, but they have defense, right? So my tribe became very well respected and loved, and I was always really proud of that. So I have all of my original creations, my bats especially, because we were the tribe of the bat, and I was a bat tamer, and I have probably over 300 of the Desmodus bat in cryo frozen, waiting to be let out again once I got back into Ark, along with all the other dinosaurs we had, and we had a lot. And so now it's just a matter of waiting for the new game to be released so that we can play it and enjoy it, uh, you know, properly. Because I don't want to get into Ark and play it for like a week or so and get people really invested in it and then kind of lose interest in it again. Because that's the sort of way Ark is. I mean, you'll start playing it, and like I said, its 8-year anniversary is coming up. So I've been playing the game for 8 years. Okay, so again, thousands and thousands of hours. And Ark is the sort of game where you're gonna play it for a while, and like I said, I played it for the last year and a half, and right now I'm heavily into Dead by Daylight, which is what I was just getting into right when I started streaming, was Dead by Daylight. Otherwise, my beginning stuff. If I had started streaming probably 3 or 4 months before I did, the whole first portion of my streams would all be Ark. Like literally, they would all be Ark. But it's just happenstance that I happened to become a streamer when I was getting out of Ark and into Dead by Daylight again. So that's where we sit right now, or at least where I sit. There's lots of updates and things that are going to come to the game. They are reselling the game, of course, for $40, which is kind of a piss off because it's like I bought the game on Xbox originally for $20 because it was like it was in the beta testing phase, so it was like you could pay like maybe $20 for the game, and you just as they updated the game, and when the game was fully launched and updated, because you bought it during the beta testing phase, you got to keep the game for free, and that was what we did. That was what I did. But then when I started on the PlayStation 4 and now 5, it was like, well, because of the PlayStation account and Xbox isn't linked, we had to rebuy the game again. And I did for Christmas, and I had to buy all the DLC again, which again I did. And then my wife got into it, so we had to buy the game for her. Then my son got older, he wanted to play it. My other son got older, he wanted to play it. So we have like technically 5 times that we paid out for Ark and all of the DLCs. So it's kind of like, to have to buy it all again now is kind of a bitch. Especially because the game is $40, and then of course, rather than selling all the DLCs in one package for $30 or so, they're selling it in 2 broken DLCs for $20 each. So total is $80. So the price of a retail game now for the entire thing all over again. But at least it includes all the DLC this time. However, it will also include the ability for mods and things like that. It's going to do full cross-platform play, which is a big deal because right now, hey Toast, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Talking about my Ark Survival Evolved update here. So they are going to add mods to it, so we'll should see modded maps and creator created maps, which you could purchase from a marketplace and then add them to your game. So that's going to be a really big boost for Ark, because it kind of stagnates in the sense that now you can only have, one save file for every map, etc., right? So it's kind of a bitch that you don't really have a lot to play with other than the maps that they've released. So if they by opening this up to the modding community, we're going to have so many more maps available to choose from, so many worlds to choose from, and that's going to be a lot more fun to mess around with and see things that people have maybe never seen before when a new map is released. Those will be really entertaining, and I'm looking very much forward to those. Especially that it's going to be full cross-platform now, so PlayStation, Xbox, and PC can all play together, which is going to be a huge improvement. Because as it is now, I have several friends who I wanted to play Ark with, but they don't have PlayStation and I don't have PC, so we can't play together. And now we'll be able to with this new remastered version of the game, which is a good thing. Again, it just sucks that you have to buy the game again. But to see the upgrades and the graphics wise, like the water is going to be obviously much more realistic now. The what did they say, the foliage will be interactive now, so when you're going through the trees, the branches will move and everything. That'll be really cool. Yeah, cross-platform accounts. I'm just looking at the list of the updates that they're bringing to it. No matter what platform you're on, you can access your account, character, dinos. Yeah, that's another thing. Cross-platform multiplayer. So whenever you're playing, you'll have basically an Ark account. And I can use my account from PlayStation, and if I do get an Xbox or a PC, I can use my account from the PlayStation on the PC, which would be really great. So if I decide to swap platforms, I don't lose my progress and again have to start all over from scratch. So that's really cool. Yeah, let's see, what else have we got. Mods will be paid for. 50% of profit goes to the mod creators. The other 50% goes to paying the company who will handle the mods for the devs. Yeah. Holiday events. Ark had a lot of holiday events. If you play Dead by Daylight, you notice that there's like the Christmas, and they have like the lunar bunny event just happened or whatever. You wish it was like that for Dead by Daylight? Yeah, it would be kind of cool, but that opens a whole can of worms as far as cheating goes. But, yeah, so we're going to have a lot of improvements will come to Ark. The only sad thing is, which I'm kind of looking forward to, is that we have to wait until August for this to happen. It will be nice because, as I said, I've been trying to sort of convince myself to get back into Ark, but I haven't really been able to yet. So to give it myself just another several months until August comes along, and to look forward to it as sort of a remastered version of the game, a newer version of the game, I'm really looking forward to that. So I think that'll be the sort of kick in the pants I need to sort of dive back into Ark. And because it'll be cross-platform, I'm going to talk to several of my other friends on different platforms, and we're going to see if we can all get together. Because it's like I said, I have about 4 or 5 people who would be willing to play Ark. And if we could all form a tribe together, and the majority of us are all streamers, so we could all be streaming Ark simultaneously from our own perspectives and what have you, and you could sort of piece together the streams and see what's happening between our whole tribe simultaneously. And I think that would be a lot of fun to do. So, yeah. So there's going to be a lot of things to look forward to. A lot of things are kind of sad, like, because they said the official servers will shut down in August, but they will have servers for Ark Survival Ascended, which is the remastered version of the game. So although the old game will be, gone offline because of the servers, you will still be able to play the classic game in its remastered form in Ark Survival Ascended. So it's not completely gone. Like a lot of crazy people have written, like, oh, it's the end. It's like, well, it's not the end. It's just, it's the beginning of the remaster. So, but the holiday events, as I was saying, like the lunar thing for Dead by Daylight with the lunar bunny event and the snowman that happens at Christmas and Halloween, Ark has amazing events. For the frickin' for the Easter event actually, which would be going on right now, the dodos, because Ark is full of extinct creatures, and the dodo birds are all over Ark. And for the Easter event, they give the little dodo birds little bunny ears, and the little dodos walk around and they leave little Easter eggs everywhere as they go around. It's really cute. And like for Christmas, there's raptor claws, which is awesome. And in the middle of the night, yeah, you hear ho ho ho, and across the sky, there's this velociraptor in Santa's sleigh, and he drops presents, which are basically loot drops for anybody who can reach them, wherever they drop in the world. And they put a lot of love into Ark Survival Evolved. And so it really does. That's why it gets so addicting, because they care so much about it. And that's why I'm not horribly offended or angry that they're going the route of the route of the the remaster and shutting down the original servers. Nothing can last forever. And the fact that Ark Survival Evolved in and of itself has lasted for 8 years is pretty impressive, especially considering I don't want to say the lack of content, but there really isn't a lot of maps available. As far as like you can buy all the DLC. Like all in all, there's probably like I don't know, what is there, like maybe 10, 12 maps. There's a lot of maps, and they're huge. They're massive worlds each one. But at the same time, like I said, now that they're going to have mods that people can upload their own map designs, it's going to take this game even further. So I don't consider, Ark's demise to be at the 8th year anniversary this June, or in August when they actually shut the servers down. The game isn't going to die then. It's just going to continue, ironically, evolved into a more mature form, and that's perfectly fine. I'm looking forward to seeing an updated version of Ark. I've always wanted to see a graphical upgrade on Ark Survival Evolved. It's not terrible if you go and look at it. Again, check out my previous streams on Ark Survival Evolved. They're all on YouTube. And you can see the game doesn't look bad. The game looks fine. But to see it take that one step higher now is going to be really nice. And I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air and really breathe some new life into the game. So that'll be fun. So yeah, the official servers on all the consoles will go. Final save data will be uploaded for players to rehost on their own servers, or play in single player non-dedicated, as well as slightly earlier. You'll still be able to play on single player non-dedicated, player dedicated, and unofficial servers. They're also going to have lobbies where you can form up with your friends there in the lobby, because that's completely new as it stands now. Even if I load into a server or a private game with my friends, none of us are on the same team until we find each other and form a tribe in the game. Apparently now they're going to have lobbies where we all jump into the lobby, so we will start as a tribe and we will start together, which would be very good. Because as it stands now, you could pop up, like I could pop in the world over here, and then someone else could pop up in the world here with, 50 kilometers of Jurassic Park between us, okay? With no fences. So you can imagine the dangers involved in that if you're a little caveman with nothing but a loincloth and literally nothing, no weapons but what you can learn to make on your way. So to be able to just start all together in one group in one area will be massively important for survival, and it's going to change the game up quite a bit. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm going to convince several of my other streamer friends to see if who've been pondering whether they wanted to play the game. I'm going to tell them about this now and just sort of say, hey, are you willing to wait until August? And then in August sort of commit to diving into starting up a new game series like this one. So I think that'll be sort of because it gives them something to look forward to. It's not like well, we have to do it right now, or you have to buy the game now, or anything like that. So it gives several months of preparation, which I think, will ease other people into it. So that's something that, again, I'm very much looking forward to. So, yeah, it will be very, very entertaining. I think that's about it as far as word on the updates come. As far as Ark Survival Evolved 2 is concerned, or Ark 2 is all it's called, I'm still not particularly impressed. I want to see gameplay and things from it from now, which I still haven't seen. So if the game has been pushed back to 2024, I think that also sort of gives you an idea that maybe any of the gameplay footage that might be out there already, you may not want to take too seriously, because that's obviously what they're going to be trying to upgrade and build upon. So I'm gonna continue to hold off on Ark 2. Personally, I don't think we need Vin Diesel in Ark Survival 2 in order to make the game interesting. The original game in and of itself was amazing, and it didn't need huge actors in it to sort of do that. But I think what happened was, around the time that Ark 2 was announced, they also announced Cyberpunk with Keanu Reeves. And then it was like, oh, okay, Keanu Reeves. And that was like this huge thing, right? Keanu Reeves was going to be in a video game. And then after that happened, Ark 2 was announced and Vin Diesel was in it. And everyone's like, ooh, and I was kind of like, really though? Why? Like, what does he contribute? That was sort of the thing. Like, Keanu Reeves being in Cyberpunk worked because we all know he's heavy into science fiction and whatever, what with the Matrix and all that, right? So to sort of see him in there, it ties together. But what does Vin Diesel have to do with dinosaurs? Nothing, really. He was always more into the cars and everything, wasn't he? So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I'm not going to... But never say never is kind of, how I want to look at that game. And we'll see how it looks more closer to release date than as it does now. Because right now, as I said, all I've ever seen is the trailers. So go find the trailers if you want. And the trailers look good, but they're just cinematic trailers. There's no reason to believe any of it will be in the game in any way, shape, or form. It's just something made to look good and sort of be like, wow, I'm going to get that game based off the trailer. Don't buy a game based off the trailer alone. Look for gameplay before the game releases, especially in a circumstance such as the Ark 2 trailer. You don't want to get suckered into something that could be terrible. And as it is now, like I said, I love Ark, but I don't see any reason that Ark 2 will be that much of a better experience. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Aside from that, yeah, like I said, I've sort of browsed through the notes here on this, the announcement. They said there's a whole ton more that they haven't even talked about, because, variances and upgrades and whatever, because there's so much. But yeah, the final Ark update will be in June for the 8th anniversary, where they're going to release a final animal creature for, the game. To sort of mark the last one, and after that the only updates will be bug fixes, etc. That is it. So, kind of sucks, but like I said, Ark is going to evolve into Ark Ascended, and then we will have a whole new way of playing it, and nice fresh servers. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It will be much like once the servers reopen and everybody's getting into them brand new from the start, it's going to be a lot like the Old West, where they sort of had the rush to claim land. It's going to be like that again, where everybody's jumping into the game and trying to stake claims on certain portions of land for their tribes again. So it'll be really interesting to see how the little worlds grow over time in the game. So, yeah. Well, I think that's about it. Not much else to talk about. Exciting, kind of, sad to see the old ways go, but it'll be fun, I think, to see the newer version take its place. And in the end, as long as the gameplay stays the same, which it will be, based off everything we're seeing there, it's just going to have a lot of improvements. The price tag, of course, of $80 to get reclaim all the DLCs and the game itself again is kind of, like, come on. It's the game. It's a great game, but as I said, it's 8 years old, so there's no reason to charge us $40 for the DLC packs anymore. Okay, don't do that. But they're doing it, and it's like I said, I'm gonna buy it because I wanna buy the game because I wanna play it again. So closer to August, I'll probably discuss this again because we'll be like, okay, the game is coming out. This is what I'm going to be looking forward to doing then. I mean, my channel theoretically will be bigger by then as well, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. I mean, as far as bigger, I mean, I'll have more followers, hopefully. Probably, I would hope I would have made affiliate by then so I can at least have my own little emotes and everything added. It's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out. But, yeah, as it stands for now, that's my opinion on everything going on with ARK. And, I am, like I said, going to go dive into Dead by Daylight, which is the stream I had intended before. I literally, one of my old ARK server friends, actually, because as I said, my tribe was very well respected, and I made a lot of friends on there, and one of them actually direct messaged me and just said, hey, this is what's happening. And I was like, oh, I should look into that. So, yeah. So thanks to her, and thanks to everybody who's followed me this far on the journey. And like I said, come August, hopefully we'll have a lot more content to look forward to as far as ARK, the re-release of ARK. And we'll get some games in there, I think, and we'll take it all from there. I can't promise anything now because it's still a ways away. And as I said, I've been toying with the notion of going back into it, but I'm not quite there yet. I like to think by August I'll be like, you know what, let's do this. We'll dive right in, right? So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun. So let's do it. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I'm going to end this particular stream here because this is just an update on one specific game, and it wouldn't feel right for me to have been sitting in the main menu of Dead by Daylight right now talking about a completely different game for half an hour, which is why I'm doing it this way. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all in about 5 minutes when we start up our Dead by Daylight stream. Please check out my stuff. All my little links are down here across the bottom of the screen, as you can see. My Facebook, my YouTube, the Discord, etc., etc. So, thanks everybody, and I will see you all momentarily. Take care. Bye-bye.